Today on NETRUSH Report, we're diving deep into Madison Keys' shocking retirement plan, Jessica Pegula's heartfelt response, and the deeper meaning behind their emotional conversation about life after tennis. If you love real tennis stories, not just match scores, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon, because here, we bring you the heart behind every headline. The tennis world was caught off guard when Madison Keys and Jessica Pegula opened up about something few top players dare to discuss publicly: retirement. It all happened during their candid podcast, The Player's Box, which Keys co-hosts alongside Pegula, Jennifer Brady, and Desiree Crouchick. The group has always been known for their unfiltered conversations, from on-court frustrations to mental health and even personal relationships. But this time, the discussion turned emotional when the topic of Gael Monfils' retirement came up. At around the 9-minute mark of that episode, Madison Keys confessed something that instantly caught everyone's attention. She said that if she were to retire, she wouldn't make any big announcement or tease it ahead of time. Instead, she'd go out quietly and then just drop the news in a press conference out of nowhere. In her words, it would be something like, "Oh, by the way, this was my last tournament." No farewell speech. No grand ceremony. Just honesty and closure on her own terms. This revelation left her co-hosts, and even fans, in total disbelief. Because in an era where retirement tours have become emotional spectacles, from Serena Williams' legendary farewell to Roger Federer's tearful send-off, Keys' low-key exit plan feels almost rebellious. And in a way, it perfectly fits Madison's personality. She's always been known for being grounded, quietly passionate, and never someone to seek the spotlight off the court. For her, tennis isn't about spectacle, it's about sincerity. And when it's time to say goodbye, she wants that moment to be private, raw, and real. But just when the podcast started to settle into that emotional mood, Jessica Pegula stepped in with a totally different take. She admitted that she'd actually want to make her retirement known ahead of time. Pegula said that she'd prefer to plan it out, not for attention, but because she'd want to give her family, friends, and fans a chance to celebrate the journey with her. And that's very much on brand for Pegula. She's meticulous, thoughtful, and deeply appreciative of the people around her. She's built a reputation not only as one of the most consistent players on the WTA Tour, but also as someone who values gratitude and connection over drama. Her approach to retirement mirrors her personality: organized, sincere, and full of heart. So, on one side, we have Madison Keys, the spontaneous realist. And on the other, Jessica Pegula, the planner, the emotional connector. It's a fascinating contrast between two women who have shared countless memories on tour, but view the end of their careers in completely opposite ways. Their discussion highlights something often overlooked in tennis: that retirement isn't just a professional milestone. It's a deeply personal, emotional decision that reflects who the player truly is off the court. For both Keys and Pegula, these thoughts about retirement don't just come from nowhere. The modern WTA circuit is more intense than ever, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Madison Keys' last major appearance was at the 2025 US Open, where she suffered a shocking first-round exit to Renata Zarazua. It wasn't the result anyone expected from a player who once reached the final of the same tournament in 2017. The loss hit hard, and it was a reminder that the grind of professional tennis doesn't spare even the most talented athletes. Meanwhile, Pegula has been carrying the American flag proudly this season. She's currently competing at the Wuhan Open, facing Hailey Baptiste in the second round. Even though she's still focused on her active career, these podcast conversations show that both players are beginning to think about life beyond tennis, something that's often taboo in such a fiercely competitive environment. And when you consider how many greats, from Ashley Barty to Caroline Wozniacki, have chosen their own unique ways to say goodbye, it's no surprise that Keys and Pegula are already reflecting on their futures with such depth. But this wasn't the first time Madison Keys and Jessica Pegula have gotten deeply personal on their podcast. In another emotional episode, the two opened up about motherhood and whether they'd continue to play professionally after having children. When their co-host, Jennifer Brady, asked the question, both Keys and Pegula gave brutally honest answers. Jessica Pegula didn't hesitate. She said a firm no. She explained that while she deeply respects players like Serena Williams, Victoria Azarenka, and Alina Svitolina, who returned to competition after becoming mothers, she personally wouldn't want to. For her, once she becomes a mom, that chapter of life would demand her full focus, not just as an athlete, but as a person. Madison Keys resonated with Pegula's answer, agreeing that motherhood would likely mark the end of her playing career, too. It was one of those rare moments where tennis fans saw the human side of their favorite athletes, not just as competitors, but as women thinking about family, identity, and the passage of time. Interestingly, Keys is married to her longtime partner and fellow tennis player Bjorn Fratangelo, while Pegula is engaged to Taylor Gahagan, a businessman and tennis enthusiast. Their openness about these personal choices has made The Players Box one of the most relatable tennis podcasts out there, because it strips away the glamour and exposes the real-life questions elite athletes grapple with: legacy, love, and what comes next. Beyond the serious moments, Keys and Pegula have also used their podcast as a platform to vent in a very relatable way. In August this year, both expressed their frustration over unexpected match delays and scheduling chaos that have plagued tournaments throughout the season. Keys jokingly said that sometimes, waiting around for hours in a player lounge can mentally drain her more than the match itself. Pegula agreed, adding that the uncertainty and late-night matches can make the life of a professional tennis player far from glamorous. But through these small, humorous complaints, what really shines is their friendship. They balance each other out. Madison's dry wit and spontaneous humor mix perfectly with Jessica's calm, logical energy. And that's probably why fans love their dynamic so much. Even when they disagree, like on how they'd announce retirement, there's always mutual respect and warmth. Their differences don't divide them, they define them. What makes this whole discussion truly fascinating is how their retirement philosophies symbolize something much deeper. Madison Keys' desire for a quiet exit speaks to her lifelong struggle to maintain peace amid the chaos of the tennis world. She's battled through injuries, heartbreaking defeats, and the pressures of expectation, yet has always remained humble, introspective, and graceful. So, when she says she'd rather walk away in silence, it's almost poetic. It's not about hiding. It's about ending her story with authenticity, not spectacle. Jessica Pegula, on the other hand, has spent years fighting for recognition, constantly improving, and building consistency. Her wish to announce retirement in advance reflects gratitude, a way to honor the people who've supported her journey, from her family to her fans. It's her way of saying, "This chapter meant everything, and I want to celebrate it properly." Together, their perspectives paint a beautiful picture of what the next generation of women's tennis stands for: individuality, self-awareness, and emotional honesty. Neither Madison Keys nor Jessica Pegula is planning to hang up their rackets anytime soon. Both still have plenty of tennis left in them, physically and mentally. But conversations like these are reminders that even the strongest athletes think about what comes next. Keys' recent form suggests she's been wrestling with inconsistency, but her passion for the sport is still visible. Pegula, meanwhile, continues to cement her place in the top ranks, showing no signs of slowing down. Their podcast has become more than just a side project. It's a window into their evolving identities, both as athletes and as women preparing for life beyond the baseline. It's rare to see such openness from active players, and that's what makes The Players Box so impactful. It's not about gossip or surface-level chatter. It's about connection. So, when Madison Keys says she'd rather reveal her retirement suddenly during a press conference, it's not just a shocking headline. It's a statement. A declaration of independence in a sport that often scripts its goodbyes too perfectly. And when Jessica Pegula says she'd prefer to plan her farewell, it's not about publicity. It's about gratitude. About making sure everyone who believed in her gets to be part of that final goodbye. Two players, two paths, one powerful truth, that there's no right way to say farewell to the game that shaped your life. And maybe that's what makes their friendship and their stories so inspiring. Because at the end of the day, whether you walk away quietly or take a bow in front of the world, what truly matters is how you live the journey. Thanks for watching NETRUSH Report, your home for emotional, powerful, and exclusive stories from the world of tennis. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a fellow tennis fan. Because here, we don't just cover matches, we tell the stories behind them. Until next time, stay inspired, stay passionate, and we'll see you on the next